Hello again. I'm not going to lie, I'm very disappointed. After a beautiful sunshiny week and a forecast that said all week that we were going to have a beautiful weekend, it got to last night and then started to absolute piss down. Did that all night, all morning. I mean, look at those skies, and everything is soaking wet, as you can see. So there'll be no painting today, probably not tomorrow either. I'll hold my fingers crossed. Even if I tried to dry, I mean, it stopped now. The radar's saying there could be more forming offshore behind it. It's just too risky. If I got paint on and then it started to rain again, I've just wasted my time. Luckily, got a little list here of jobs that I never got around to doing last week. Fix the horn button. I can get up in behind that rear route number box and work out why that glue keeps coming off. And then I can also get up into that box, which I also have to access from upstairs, and work out if I've got power going to there. All the plugs are there. They're a 2-prong plug and they go into an inverter. 24 volts supplied to the inverter, and then the inverter supplies 240 to the fluorescent tubes. The tubes are in place, the plugs are in place, but the inverter's been midnight spares. But if I've got power getting up there, I can work something out with the LED stuff. So that's what I'll get into today, and hopefully tomorrow will be better. I will move the bus forward in anticipation that tomorrow will be better weather. Still no water upstairs. It's exactly the same as it was last week, which is very good news. However, there is a little bit down here, but that looks to me, apparently I slept through it. I live in an apartment building, so I can't hear rain on the roof, but apparently it was very, very heavy rain last night. So if that's the case, that's just water coming in through the doors there. So a couple of drips and drops, but still, it seems that mostly that upstairs repair is good. I just have to re-bead the silicone, which I never got around to last week. So let's work out what we're going to do, get our supplies, and get stuck into another episode of Steve Stuff. Oh, by the way, a few people didn't like the short intro last week, so I've made another one. I didn't think I'd have to get under here again so soon, but hopefully this is third time lucky. It's such a difficult area to work in. At least I'm not dealing with that shoulder anymore. It is still sore, but it's healing. I'm getting the use of it back slowly but surely. I just have to be careful that I don't make too many sudden movements. I mean, even when I'm at work, just reaching for the mouse, sometimes it'll click and really hurt. But there's plenty in here to keep me busy, including this one blasted nut that gets finger tight, and then there it is. And the 2 washers came with it. I'm going to have to drill those rivets out too. Bugger. It just seems like it's the middle 0 is the culprit. Oops, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. Washers everywhere. They all come off, yeah. Okay. Out it comes again. Something else I just noticed. Gee, that rain must have been heavy last night. There's actually water there too. It's coming from that rubber And down the bottom there, you can see there's a split. I can Sikaflex that up and hopefully stop that, but I haven't noticed moisture there before. But then I don't think I've been working on this on a rainy day. So there's what we're dealing with. That middle one's just come completely unglued. The other two look like, given time, they'll follow that one there. So I'll do it all again properly. I don't know. Must be just shithouse glue. Or maybe the gluer is rubbish. That's the back, yeah, it's just completely separated. And again, I don't think it likes the sun, but then they spent their life in the sun and they shouldn't wrinkle up like that. Okay, so all the bottom glue stayed good, but the top didn't, and that's what makes them flop and fall. So I'll clean that up and I'll redo all the glue, and I think what I'll then do is make sure they're nice and tight, and then I'll tape with duct tape over the sides and the top and bottom, just to keep them in place. Glue. I went quite heavy. No, that's not blood, it's just a little brush I used, had some leftover red paint. Hopefully this time it'll work. I've read the instructions to the letter. I've got to let that sit now for 15 to 20 minutes. I might have rushed it last time, which is possibly what happened. Next job. While I'm waiting for that contact glue to dry, I just went in there and cleaned up and put some marine Sikaflex. I use the marine stuff because it's still a bit damp. Not an easy place to access. Hopefully that'll stop water getting in. It's getting in, I reckon it's getting in there. There's another place on the outside of the rubber where it could be getting in. Next time I'm up the ladder, I'll do the same. Still raining. It's just started to get a bit heavier actually. It's just scattered showers. I'm going to swear then. Okay, so I've glued that down now. I hope I've done it correctly as per the instructions, and I'm going to go and get some duct tape and tape that up. All done. I'll leave that like that. I'll show you the tape. I've just taped it all up. I'll leave it like that with a bit of weight on it overnight and come back to that later. Let's move on to the next job, which while I'm up here will be that. That was the light that had the squealing inverter. The tube worked, but the inverter was making a horrid noise. I've got a spare here, so let's get in there and have a look. Got to be so careful with these. They're brittle. I've had two of them crumble in my hands. Absolutely, literally crumble. Stay. You. Oh, good. Good start. Okay, there is the inverter. Dead spider and all. So maybe it'll just be easier to pull the whole light out. Nothing's ever easy. Lucky me. This thing's been riveted in. There's one there. So change of plan. I just can't be bothered. I'm going to clean this all up. It's pretty dirty, spider webs and dirt and shit. I'll hit it with a toothbrush and some contact cleaner. See if that helps it. The other one that was a problem was this one. It had the tube didn't work. So while I'm here, while I got the tools out, let's get the tube out. Tube looks okay. Sometimes you can tell that they're no good. They kind of go brown or dark. This one's also got a lot of crap in it, spider webs and dirt. I might see if I give it the same treatment, clean it up, give that tube a jiggle, see what happens. I just gave them both a go with that stuff, and a little paintbrush got in there, cleaned it all up. I think I need to have the engine running to test these, but I've just realised that that's going to rattle. Those two rivets are no good, so I'm going to have to get the drill on the rivet gun out anyway. Turns out I don't need the engine on to test these. I won't leave them on long, but we've had a bit of success. That's not as noisy. It still is noisy. That fluoro's a different colour to the rest of them. And this one has come good, so it must have just been loose. So I'm going to rivet that in, and that'll be a job done. Just going to fix these up. They're only little rivets. They didn't hang on very well. Hang on, little rivets. I just got to find the right size. So that's a 3.5 mil, but it's got too long of a grab, and that's a 4. Yeah, no, it's too big. I've just got to Find the right size. Hang on, little rivets. Little rivet band, hang on. Help is on its way. No one laughed. Can't do this one-handed. Oh. Righto, this one's a 3.2. It's got a smaller grab on it, and that's, yep, that's perfect. Okay, so recalibrate my rivet gun. By recalibrate, I mean swap out the nut job. Well, that's me, but you know what I mean. The front bit. Hang on. That'll be stuck in my head all day now. Sorry about that. Help is on its way. I love LRB. Why aren't you going in? I'll be there as fast as I can. There we are. Hang on. Gotcha. One more. I'll be home on Monday. Somewhere around noon. Please don't be angry. Well, no one's going to get angry now at a rattling light when we're driving along. Job done. There we are. Diffuser all back in, nice and tidy. Working. Up here, diffuser all back in, nice and tidy. Working. Well, we saw them working. They're turned off right now. Next job, get that front panel off, which is a challenge with the seats in place. I'm not going to take any seat frames out, but that gets us down into the Desto, where I want to find out why there are a couple of drips on one of the rolls, and 2, see if there's power going to the plug. We need 24 volts to the plug. The inverter's missing, but if I've got power down to there, I can work something else out. If you're ever watching any of my videos and you think, what is that constant humming noise that's always in the background? Let me show you. 2, 4, 6, 8, motorway. Good old Tom Robinson. That's what the hum is. Constant noise, the motorway. Oh, there's some blue sky over there. The motorway just there. I don't hear it anymore. It doesn't bother me at all, but I do hear it when I'm editing the videos. Anyway, just if you were wondering. Now this is off. I can get this out of the way and get down into there. A little temporary light solution for the front numbers. You didn't see that. Okay, like I said, this isn't easy with the seats in place, but there are the, oh, I said 2 prongs, they're actually 4. There are the plugs that go into the inverter. I don't know which one of those is power from the dash. So that's what I want to try and work out. And then from there, work out a way to light up this box. Right, I've been messing around for hours and that's what I've come up with. So that's a couple of those LED bars inside both boxes. Unfortunately, you can see light coming through some screw holes or something in that route number box. I have to do something about that. We can't find power to the main box, but I did find power to that, so what I've done is I've jumped, so they'll both work off the route number switch on the dash, but no one will know that except whoever's driving the bus. As you can see, it's completely dark. I can't see a thing in there. I'm going to pack up and go home. Sunday morning, rained again last night. Woke up though to beautiful blue skies. I was just heading into a breakfast meeting with my boss, and he texted and rain checked on me, so I turned around, went straight to the hardware store and then came here. Now, lovely blue skies over there, but while I was in the hardware, something happened over there. I don't know if there's rain in that, if it's going to make it this far or what, but I am going to get 1101 out now I just went and bought some riv nuts to try and fix up that rear reverse box. I won't do any painting until I'm absolutely certain that that rain isn't going to make it here. But I've got a lot of other stuff that I can get done. So as we keep an eye on that, I'll do all this other stuff that I can, and maybe I'll be able to get some paint on. Let's see. Oh, and I'm going to get changed. I can't get these dirty. These are my good coffee clothes. And here we are. Just my bloody luck. More rain. I can happily report that I have power to this light box off the route number switch. So there's power there, and one of those fluoros works. I have a few spares here I'm going to try out now. Also, I can happily report that there is also power coming up to this rear box. So I can put the original lighting back in there. See a little bit of water there. I've got to get on the outside and fix that crack in that rubber. But I can put that original light that I've got up the front at the moment, I can put that in the back there, and then I've got lights at the rear, and I can either work something out at the front, or Scott said he's got a couple of those original box lights at his place. So we'll see how we go there. Ta-da! Success. Ah, that's fantastic. That means I now have lights for that back route number box, which I am now going to go and put back in. Well, I really hope this is the last time I have to go in there. It is definitely not the easiest thing to do. I've dried it up a little bit. I'll go around the back. The rain's stopped, but it looks like there's another shower behind it, so I can't really do any painting. But I can get up the ladder there and check the leak coming through that window rubber, and also the water that's continuing to come through a little bit in that front window. So I can try and do those while it's not raining. I'll get this box screwed in and the rear plate back and the seats back on, and then that's job's done. Well, we can safely say there's going to be no painting done today. There's just too much risk of showers coming through. So I've committed to the other jobs. This has all been put back together. The box is in there, the lights are in there. I've just used some marine Sikaflex on this that's been letting a little water in. I've dried everything, and the next shower that comes along, we'll see what happens. I've also done the outside of that. I did the same thing to the rubber around the route number box. It was also a bit brittle and leaky. And then coming up to the front, I'm going to soldier on with this lighting situation here. Work out what I can do. You can see the clouds there, that's why I'm not going to paint. These are the 24 volt LED strips. Very bright, very effective, and I've got 3 of them. So I'm thinking one for down there, and then a top one and a bottom one, and that'll just do what the originals did, just from a different place. Because in a very stupid design, to replace the fluoro tubes in that number 1 box there, the big one, you've got to take the glass out. No, not going to happen. Did that in the other Decker, 2 of us, and it was a PRICK of a job. So I've got some aluminium scrap that I had lying around. I'll see what sort of bracketry I can work out and see if we can't get this done, and that'll be today's job. I can't find my test light, and I'm starting to wonder, do you think I am capable of leaving it inside there and then putting all of that back together? Do you think that I'm possibly capable of doing that? Would that be my luck? I think it would. I'm just going to go and check the shed one more time. In the drawer with the rivets in the shed. So just as silly and forgetful, but not as bad or as time consuming as the other option could have been. Here's what I've come up with for the route number box. There's the power, and this is what I've made. Now the purists are going to howl. I'll get phone calls from Scott, but until such time as we can find an original one, this is going to have to do. So I've got one of the LED strips on a piece of aluminium as a bracket. I'm going to screw that
to there. I've drilled the holes already, and then that will light that box. From there, I'll also run power over to here for the number 1 box. I can't find the power feed for those lights, so we'll just use the 1 power source for the whole lot. Similar thing, but different bracket. I'm going to hang this off there, like that, taking the feed from over there, and then I'll do another one, probably the same, but upside down, on the lower level.
Still looks like rain, and even if the bus is dry, there's still water dripping down everywhere. I'm still living in hope that I might get an hour or two where I could possibly just run around the back of that back window and route number box, just to try and get some paint on this afternoon and not feel completely useless. But like I said, look at the sky. The showers just keep popping out of nowhere. So we're going to go into this now. I've got some nut rivets, whatever you want to call them, to fix up those holes, and also I'll see if I can't replace all of those screw heads. They're all just rooted, basically. There's no other word. There's a very good chance water may have got in here, because when I put it back on last week, I cleaned all of the seam sealer off it and didn't put any more in, because I'm not finished in there, you know, so you probably can't even hear me. Not too wet, a little bit of water in there. Righto, where I want to put the nut rivets, I've got the end of the old screw or bolt or nut to deal with. I've got to try and get that poking out, get rid of it, so that then I can put a new riv nut in. I might just give this all a bit tidy up, bit of it, and make it all a bit brighter. Great. Okay. Neither of them are blown, but just only this one was working. Anyway, I'll keep those. You never know when you're going to need a 24 volt festoon. Now, what do I do here? I might drill these out and get rid of them, because I need space to make up some bracketry for that. I just went to put another layer on. It's only 2 in the afternoon, but the temperature just dropped by about 5 degrees. Oops. Yoink. Right. Bloody rivets on my drills. Bain Marie of my life. We'll just give this a clean up. I'm going to leave all the original stuff there, because my friend Scott, who has a personal attachment to this bus, he was one of the people that found it and saved it. He likes things original, so he says he reckons he can get this working. I reckon Egan's just put those festoons in there because this failed somehow, and they needed it to pass rego or heavy vehicle inspection, because if it's there, it has to work. So I'm doing it to get it to work and look OG. Scott wants it to be OG, but for now, we'll just do this, but I'll leave it all there so that if and when the time comes, we can put it back. That blue is the original Mandarin blue from the original Sydney livery. I need to get a rag. Just been through the scrap metal pile to see what I've got. Some sort of bracketry for in here. I've come up with something like this maybe. So it sits out a little bit. I mean, I could just screw straight through there. I could do that, I suppose. Maybe simple's best. Just making work for myself, really, aren't I? Yeah. Stuff it. I'll just screw it to the back. But before I do that, I'm just going to give it a spray, a tidy up in here, just to make it pop brighter. I just found this, it's called Silver Treasure. I don't have anything that's cream. I've got a white, but I'll probably never use this again, so I just thought I'd use it up. It'll just clean it up at the back, give it more reflective power, I suppose you could say. Again, Scott's going to kill me. Quite runny, this stuff. It's running everywhere. That'll do. Let that dry and then we'll screw that light in. I've just put a M6 riv nut in there and it lined up okay. I had to go quite big with the drill. As you can see here, I've got to drill out the hole big enough for the riv nut, but also to clear out that there. So it was a bit of a faff, bit of a mess, but I did it, and I'll do it to these other two. This guy's okay. These other two need help. Got that one out. Made a bit of a mess coming out though, but that's okay. And now I've got to drill enough in there so that, let's take this one out. There's that much rivet that's got to go in, and at the moment it won't go in, if you can see that. So it's got to drill it so it makes it, and then it'll pull out. And that's it. Hopefully that'll line up. One more to go. These things are great. I just hope they line up. So now I'll mount the light in here, wire it up. I might just go around the outside of this box here and give it a good clean up so it's ready for paint, and put it all back together. We've had quite a while without rain and the sky's bluing up. You know what? I might get a chance to put some paint on. Job done. They're good, aren't they? That'll clean up nicely, just not today. I'm going to move the bus forward now because I'm in the shadow. I'm quite near the shed. I'll move into the sunshine, get up and run some more Sikaflex on that front window where it's leaking. And then I don't know, it's 3:15. If I try and do any painting, I'm only going to get an hour and a half or so, so maybe it's worth trying. I just moved it forward into the sun, thinking, yep, you know, I'll at least get that back painted, just corner to corner. But you can see there's still water dripping down from the rain gutters. That's not going to stop. If I put paint on there, it's just going to keep dripping. So I'm just going to admit defeat. There will be no painting today. It's a bummer, but what can I do? I know what I can do. I can go for a drive. Fell over. Just stopped at Olympic Park. There's something wrong with the doors. They won't close. And that's only new because they've been opening and closing fine. So I don't know what that is. air issue somewhere. Apart from that, she's blowing a bit of smoke, but she actually is quite cold and hasn't gone anywhere since we got down here from Maitland, which is probably 3 months ago, I suppose. A little bit of something there. I think that's just water coming down off the rain gutters. Yep. Doing well so far. Getting a few looks, that's for sure. Well, I haven't put it away yet. I'm about to. I'm just letting it cool down a bit, but I think that's where we'll leave this video. I couldn't get any painting done. The weather just conspired against me today. It's absolutely beautiful now. But I got a few other jobs done. I'm happy with those. So also I got to drive it. That's the first time I've driven this bus since we rescued it. So that's 4 years ago, I think, except for around the yard and whatnot. But there's a little piece in the opener, and you see me, I turn it to the camera because it was the first time I'd ever driven my own school bus. I was absolutely stoked. So next week, hopefully we'll get better luck with the weather and I'll try and get some paint on. I'm concerned about those doors. There's something going on there. I can hear air leaking and they won't close. I've got no idea. I'm going to have a couple of drinks and sit down and chat with Scott on the phone. He'll know. I could have bumped something when I was up in that Desto area doing lights and whatever. So yeah, not sure. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your views and your comments and your likes. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to the channel. Getting up there now, nearly 700. That'd be good to hit 1,000. So if you can help out with that, please do. We'll see how we go next time with getting some paint on. But for now, it's time for a bit of this. I'll catch you next time on Steve Stuff. Cut to the